Alright, how's everyone doing? I'm going to be reacting now to the Final Four match between the Final Four participants that were in the Royal Rumble. Vader versus Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker versus Bret Hart. So the rules for the match as they went over was no countout or disqualification. You must win by either throwing your opponent over the top rope or by pinfall or by submission. So it's an interesting little match concept, especially for this time. Before walking out to the ring, Bret Hart, a little bit of foreshadowing maybe for what happens in this match, says that all these competitors are great, but may the best man win, aka me. So Bret Hart comes out to the ring last, and during this match, man, I had a lot of fun watching it. It was very chaotic, a lot of different things going on. Early on in the match, you see Vader and Taker kind of locking horns again, Austin and Hart picking up where they left off. And all of these guys really just getting their stuff in, man. Whether it was inside the ring, outside the ring, it was a fun, chaotic match. Like, no part of the match felt dead at all. This was a well-done Fatal 4-Way match. Even with the added stipulations in there of like, oh, you can eliminate someone by throwing them over the top rope. Which I kind of do understand based on the finish of the Rumble. But all of these guys, just props to them for not only kicking ass, but not going over the top rope, eliminating themselves, unlike Ahmed Johnson. I just figured I'd throw that out there. There was a great spot with Vader where, like, he goes to get a steel chair. Undertaker hits a big boot onto the chair, which just whacks him in the face. And then, Vader, shout out to him, just taking all sorts of bumps in this match, getting thrown over the guardrail twice by Bret Hart near the, back half of the middle. And then, going at it with Stone Cold, getting beat down with a ring bell. Like, Vader was really, I think, probably the most underrated performer in this match. Look what happens when you put stipulations in there for a match and you let these guys just go to war, let them go to work. Vader also taking, some steel steps just being chucked at him and thrown on him by Stone Cold in this match. Bret Hart, he gets involved too, outside the ring, obviously, when he fights Vader. But really a lot of his stuff was happening inside the ring, hitting backbreakers on Stone Cold, going for the sharpshooter on Vader towards the tail end of the match. For The Undertaker, he's in and out of the ring as well. He's just beating down everybody, giving everyone the business, especially Vader, but also Stone Cold Steve Austin. Again, it's a very chaotic match. I'll try to hit on some of the points that I have over here in my notes, but very chaotic, very fun as well. There was no dead period in this match to me. They do also, by the way, cut back to Psycho Sid twice in this match. He was watching the match on a monitor, and he's like, ooh, I don't know if I want to face him. Yeah, it was, I guess, typical WWE, just cutting back to a wrestler watching the match, which is, it's weird how they do it in modern time, but back then, I guess it made more sense. Like, ooh, I wonder who he wants to win, and, JR and, Jerry the King on commentary, obviously. Again, just a very crazy match right here. We'll get into the eliminations in a moment, but you also have, Vader going for a moonsault, and he missed. He ate shit. Undertaker rolled out of the ring. Austin gets tossed into the railing, a few times, and same thing with, Vader, of course, who, to me, was the kind of the MVP of this match in a way. I guess we can get into the eliminations. Like I said, man, it was very chaotic. I'm sorry if all this is sounding vague, but it was a fun Fatal 4-Way match, and you'll hear my grade in a second. The first elimination is Stone Cold Steve Austin. He ends up getting eliminated by Bret Hart. He just basically threw him over the top rope. Steve Austin, furious. And he would actually make his presence known by coming back to the ring to beat down Bret Hart some more. After that elimination, obviously there's more fighting. It's, everyone just trying to get their stuff in, beat each other up, typical stuff. Outside of the ring, though, Undertaker ends up rolling out of the ring. Bret Hart and Vader go up to the top rope to hit a superplex While all that's going on, Paul Bearer, who happened to come out at ringside, hit the Undertaker with the urn. So they're still continuing that, it looks like. Which is funny because Undertaker goes on the Fight Psycho set and not Vader at WrestleMania. Anyway, Taker ends up eliminating Vader by kicking him out of the ring after he goes for a Vader bomb. So what was happening was Stone Cold had just rolled Bret Hart back into the ring because he was trying to get one of those guys to eliminate him because Stone Cold had just beat him up outside of the ring. But Vader goes for the Vader bomb, and Taker kind of kicks his leg from underneath him and then tosses him over. And then we get back into the ring, and Austin, is trying to, climb back onto the rope or whatever after Undertaker had just hit a choke slam. He's going for the tombstone. Austin tries to pull the legs to eliminate Bret that way, but instead he just gets crotched by the rope, and Undertaker ends up falling as well. They both turn their attention to Stone Cold to fight him off so they can go at it. In the meantime, Bret Hart wins the WWF title by clotheslining the Undertaker out of the ring after they try to both fight off Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, what would I give this match out of 5? I know Zach does it out of 10. So, what would I give it out of 5? To be honest, I would give it... I wouldn't say it's quite a 4 out of 5. I would say it's a 3.75 out of 5. It's a very fun match, in my opinion. I had a lot of fun watching it. Vader, to me, was the MVP of the match. In terms of, all the bumps and, his eye was bleeding like crazy. Stone Cold and Bret Hart still continuing their feud, it looks like, for now. I think they actually do fight at WrestleMania, which I think is the next pay-per-view we're going to be doing, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, all 4 of these guys kicked ass, fun match. Crowd was into it, commentary was into it, Psycho Sid was into it. So it was a ton of fun. 3.75 out of 5 for me. We'll be moving on to the next pay-per-view. Listen to what Zach has to say as well.